Hello and welcome to Therapy and Panels. Today we will be going over a bit of a sensitive topic today, and that topic being world hunger. Back in the 80s, two monumental comic book companies that you may know as Marvel and DC decided to do their part in helping with this issue by creating a little PSA comic book, one from Marvel's Heroes for Hope featuring the X-Men, and Heroes Against Hunger with Batman and Superman. The entire book was made free of charge by everyone who worked on it. Every 2 pages worked on it was by a different person, with such people being Jim Starlin, Jack Kirby, and Marv Wolfman, just to name a few. And any profit that was made went to fund hunger in Africa. The cover is done beautifully by the late Neal Adams, with Superman leaning down, sad at the sight of a starving child, and Lex Luthor yelling at Superman about how he could have easily prevented all this, while Batman is staring off in the distance. I don't know, what is he doing? The story begins with Superman carrying a large container of soil out in the middle of nowhere, who, according to a news reporter, states he is helping with the problem of famine by planting fresh soil in the area to grow new crops. However, even with Superman there to protect the soil with special netting and his abilities, a sandstorm appears and wipes away a lot of the soil. As he is thinking to himself about how tough this will be, even for his abilities, this lady who works for the Peace Corps starts yelling at him for how he is only there for the excitement and the press and whatnot. In my opinion, I think she would at least appreciate someone like Superman being there to help, but what the heck do I know? Superman shrugs off the comment and continues on to plant soil in the next area, but suddenly the container is shot down. Superman begins to look for whoever it did this, while elsewhere, not far off, we find Batman investigating a crashed plane that was filled with food for the needy and discovers that this is the 6th plane to be taken down when it comes to bringing in supplies. Batman notices Superman and quickly calls him down, and the two discuss their predicaments. Using his supervision, Superman discovers that the plane was taken down by some sort of particle ray beam, which has Batman stunned, seeing as how no one in Africa should be able to have access to that kind of weaponry. As the two are at a dead end, Superman decides to ask Bruce about a plant accelerator that Lex Luthor was inventing, and has Batman go to talk to Lex about perhaps helping with the hunger problem here in Africa. Bruce decides to agree and has Clark check on some communication networks at the Wayne Foundation to discover culprits shooting down the planes, seeing as how they would have to take down and know their schedules. Superman quickly discovers that a transmitter was placed outside the building, and while he is thinking to himself, someone attempts to strike him from behind, only to shatter the arm and reveal to be a robot. He discovers that the entire staff was replaced by robots and easily dismantles them, and goes to pinpoint the location of the transmitter. After searching for a bit, he finds a large ship underground and is introduced to the Master, and he is just a big green guy wearing a Speedo. Maybe he's related to the Hulk. It turns out he has gained power through the desolation and lifeless areas he is surrounded in, and in its current state, Ethiopia is a perfect place for him to gain even more power. Kind of a weak reason, but what the heck do I know? Before Superman can fight him, he gets distracted and quickly escapes. Meanwhile, Batman finds Luthor's base and gets through all of his defenses, because he's Batman, and finally reaches Lex to talk with him. You would think that Batman would trick Luthor into helping him or something, but no, he actually just tells him the truth, and due to Lex's ego of having the two heroes asking for his help because they can't do it, they want rendezvous with Superman, who explains the Master and his plan, so they decide to deal with him before using the growth formula, with Lex finally pinpointing his coordinates. As the three discuss what to do, everything suddenly goes dark. Should have paid for the electric bill, Bruce. Superman discovers that the entire planet has been engulfed in darkness, blocking the sun, meaning nothing on the planet is getting any sunlight and will eventually die. As they head out to deal with the Master, they encounter a refugee camp and realize they have to get the people away from the area. As Batman and Superman are discussing what to do, Lex looks at all the starving, suffering children, and for once his cold heart warms up just enough for him to care about something noble and decides to work with Superman to deal with this monster once and for all. And with that, I'm going to have to end it here, so all of you can discover the conclusion for yourselves. But for the meantime, when the next video hits, we'll be looking at Marvel's version of this called Heroes for Hope.